Hi everyone. So there are a couple of very important market moves that I have made. So I'll quickly disclose that. One is that yesterday the market fell quite aggressively, and I made all the announcements in the member community also. Then I'm going to build positions on Nifty 50. The reason is very simple that the markets are trading somewhere around 18,800. अभी 19,000 के आसपास है आज market. So I bought Nifty 50 again quite aggressively today. Again, all the announcements are made in the member community. The reason is very simple that if you take the top right of the market, which was at 20,200, and right now the market is trading at 19,000, so roughly 1200 point का difference है, 1200 points, and that translates to a gain of between 7 to 9% if you had been buying from yesterday. Now this gain should quickly come in the market as per my understanding, because the reason for uncertainty right now in the market is the Israel-Palestine war, and वो दुनिया भर की चीज़ें चलती रहती हैं, कुछ ना कुछ मैक्रो चलता रहेगा. So that is the math with which you should apply. Now of course I can be wrong in the absolute short term कि भाई market गिर जाएगा this that, but Nifty has always cut its previous peak. This is not a reason to get scared. The markets are going to rebound. हो सकता है कि थोड़ा सा और नीचे चले जाए, but 18,800 is a very important support level, and if it falls below that, definitely I would be building more positions. So I am definitely building more positions at this stage. This is one. Second key thing is that the reason why people are not able to make these type of moves is very simple, that they think, yeah, you know what, stock market से we want to make regular income. ऐसा कोई तरीका बता दो where we will be able to make like 15,000, 20,000 monthly income from stock market. It is not a place to make regular income. Stock market comes with volatility. That's the basic nature of this asset class called as the stock market. So in that respect, what you should do is that keep some money safe. Right now the interest rates are peaked. They are going to fall from this point. So if you are doing your fixed deposits, do it. That's safe money. Also, I would definitely advocate for corporate FDs. I have personally put my money on corporate FDs. Why? Because the interest rates again have peaked. So many of you ask me, how do we buy corporate FDs? So definitely go and check out the sponsors of today's video, which are Incred Money. They're a wonderful platform. Their team of experts have curated a list of good corporate FDs where you can put in your money and make decent, safe returns which are above FD rates. Debt is supposed to be safe. Debt is supposed to give you stability in your income. Don't treat stock market as FD, and don't treat FD / corporate debt market as equity. Don't mix the two. That's a simple message. So with that said, let's move over to the main video. Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So the market's corrected by roughly 1.5-2% today, and bhai sahab, there has been like such massive panic in the market. It's just unparalleled. I have been getting so many messages throughout the day कि अक्षत यार stock market बंद कर दें, should we sell our stock, should we re-enter at a later date, panic हो रहा है, we need to go to hospital, BP हो रहा है and all that stuff. I am smiling here, and some people posted on Twitter, है किसी में मत जो इस market में they can go and buy. I stuck my screenshot. Yes, I have bought in this market and I will continue to buy in case the market falls. Now why is that? It's not as if that God has given me like some special brain. It is just that I am researching more. I understand the fundamentals. आप लोगों के लिए वीडियो बना देता हूँ. Even our member community students, they understand. They were smiling the entire day कि गिरने दो, कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ता. That we have confidence that हम टिके रहेंगे market में. See, one of the major reasons why retail investors are unable to make any money in the stock market is very simple. That whenever there is panic, they sell their stuff and go out. Whenever there is greed in the market, they start collecting stocks then. तब बहुत महंगे मिल रहे होते हैं, right? When things are at a discount, people refuse to buy. When things start running up, they want to buy everything. So that is the basic problem, that we are unable to control our emotions, and therefore we keep on monitoring like everyday news. भाई साहब आज इस फलाना ढिमका न्यूज़ चैनल ने ये बोल दिया. We will understand that only. You go open the YouTube of a news channel right now and you will see 10 different things that they have posted about the market. अपनी standard opinion कभी देंगे नहीं कि they are either bullish or bearish. All types of videos will be made. All types of experts will be invited. You will see one expert, oh bullish, then another expert, oh bearish, भाई डर गए, right? So then you will not get any clarity and you will end up being confused. So to solve that problem, I am going to explain the entire market dynamics in 5-7 simple macroeconomics points. Please कृपया करके like कर देना so that these type of videos reach out to more fundamentally oriented investors. They will not panic, you will not panic, you will understand all the points in simple format. इससे simple explanation आपको कोई नहीं देगा. No one is going to give you simpler explanation than this. So let me begin. And the first key point that you need to understand is this Nifty chart. Go and check 1 year return. What do you see? That Nifty has given 6.32. Now what is the average return of Nifty? In the last 20 years, the average CAGR has been somewhere around 12.2 to 12.5%. So 1 year basis pay, the markets are undervalued, right? What about slightly long term, 5 years? So 5 years pay, the market have given 78.69%. Usually, this should be more than 100% because market typically doubles every 5.5 years, right? So that is called as rule of 72, and typically उस हिसाब से चलता है market and it should double roughly in 5 years. But यहाँ पे 5 years में 80%, 78-80% पे है. So whether you look at the market at 1 year basis or 5 year basis, it is undervalued. Okay, so this is point 1. अब थोड़ा सा viewpoint आप यहाँ से ले लो from October of 2021 up until now, almost the same level. So 2.5 years, nothing has happened in the market, 0% return on Nifty. अब भाई इतने time से for such a long period of time, the market is not consolidating to fall, right? कि यहाँ से 50% correction आ जाएगा, 80% correction आ जाएगा and all that stuff. It is consolidating so that it gives a breakout. And weak investors right now here, they are being shaken off. किस पॉइंट तक शेक ऑफ चलेगा आई डोंट नो, बट पीपल आर बीइंग शेकन ऑफ. एंड हु विल बी शेकन ऑफ? पीपल हु डू नॉट हैव एनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ फंडामेंटल्स. फंडामेंटल सुनने नहीं है, 5 स्टॉक से नाम बता दो मैं, बस दैट्स इट. वी ओनली वांट टू नो 5 स्टॉक नेम्स. सम वियर्ड पर्सन विल कमेंट दैट ओके दीज आर 5 स्टॉक्स दैट अक्षत इज टॉकिंग अबाउट टुडे. सो दे विल जस्ट गो एंड नोट डाउन द नेम्स. अब उसको ये भी नहीं पता कि वेदर आई एम सॉर्ट ऑफ giving positive commentary on it or negative commentary. I'm smiling because honestly this is what happens, right? 90% of people look for shortcuts. For example, गाड़ी तेज चलाएंगे भाई, अगर 2 मिनट बच जाएंगे रोड पे तो आप कुछ तीर कमान उखाड़ लोगे, right? So there is nothing right by saving 2 minutes on your road, but people drive at like 120, 130, all that. So yeah, pointless, right? Same happens in the market also. If you are looking to invest thousands and lakhs in your career, build fundamental understanding. It is as simple as that. So anyways, point 1 is that see, the markets are not consolidating so that it can fall after 2 years. The markets are consolidating so that it can rise. That's part A. Part 2, if you check Nifty's performance from the top, you will see that it is trading at a very important support level of 18,800. And from the top ka matlab from the recent high, the total correction has been roughly 7%. Now please note 7%. Bhai, 7%, 10%, 12%, 7 to 12% correction can happen in the market at any period of time. कुछ भी हो जाता है, market can easily correct by 7-12%. This is not the first time it is happening. This is not the last time it will happen. Even during a average bull run, the market is going to correct 5-7 times by 7 to 12%. Be ready for it, be mentally prepared for it. So now comes the second point, that a lot of people are genuinely worried about the market because they feel कि यार you know what, for example in 2008 the market took 4-5 years to come back to its previous levels, right? So that was a major pain point. भाई आप पढ़ो तो जाके कि why 2008 crisis happened, why did it take 4 years? Because that was the first instance of QE or quantitative easing that happened in the world. It was the first time, first experiment. अब in 2023, if the market starts falling like this, what will the governments do? They will print money and they will scale it up. They will bring the markets back. That's how typically it happens. But having said this, there are genuine reasons to worry about. The first and the core primary reason for real worry in the world is that see, real growth is not happening in the world. दुनिया भर के politicians keep on talking about the fact that our GDP will grow to this $1 trillion or that $1 trillion. Yes. For example, different estimates suggest that India's GDP is going to go from $3.5 trillion to $7 trillion roughly by 2030. So that is doubling of GDP. Now, does this mean that everyone in India will become rich equally? The short answer is no, it will not happen at all. Because 80% of this growth will be fake growth. It will be driven by inflation because महंगाई बढ़ गई है, तो GDP will also go up in that way, right? So because of that, the GDP will grow from 3.5 to $7 trillion. 20% will be real growth. So yes, there is a valid concern that the growth rate in the world is slowing down, दुनिया भर की problems चल रही हैं वगैरह वगैरह. But please do not forget the fact that when you invest in the stock market, you get inflation adjusted return, so to say. Think about it this way, that for example, let's say that Hindustan Unilever produces 100 bottles of shampoos, right? And the price of this shampoo is, let's say, 500 rupees, right? Every shampoo bottle. Now, this is 2023. Now, imagine that inflation in the economy keeps on rising up, right? Then in 2024, if HUL is still producing 100 units or 100 bottles of shampoo, at what price will it sell? Well, it will sell at 600 rupees. So shampoo तो उतना ही बिका, right? Real growth hasn't happened, but the revenues will grow for Hindustan Unilever. The answer is yes. Why? Because it will be 100 multiplied by 600. Similarly, the profits will also grow, and this is exactly the reason why Hindustan Unilever stock also rose post-COVID, right? So that is a simple point that you must understand, that when you invest in the stock market, you are going to get inflation-adjusted returns also. People who do not invest, कि हम तो cash में बैठे रहेंगे, they are not going to benefit from any growth that is happening due to inflation. So I hope this point is clear, because this is a very important point. इससे आसान भाषा में कोई नहीं समझा सकता था. Now, the real reason to worry is the fact that you have a very poor portfolio. Now, what is the meaning of poor portfolio? It simply means that you are over leveraged somewhere. For example, you have invested 90% of your money in PSU stocks, okay, public sector enterprise stocks. Now, just for context, the market cap of PSU companies back in 2020 was roughly $15 trillion. Now, the market cap of PSE, public sector enterprises, is close to $45 trillion. इतनी तेज growth हुई है, and if you are in the habit of only investing in PSEs, public sector enterprises, 90% of your portfolio is there. कंपनियां 10 times ही हो गई हैं कुछ. So that does not mean that, forever these companies are going to keep you giving run up only, right? They are going to correct. If you are holding these type of overvalued companies, please exit, even if you have to sell them at little bit of loss, or if you are unable to sell them at your peak. Of course, it becomes a problem for you. So please do not hold these type of stocks which are clearly overvalued. So I hope that this point is clear. So on the note of building a good portfolio, let me explain a very simple strategy which is called as 40-40-20 strategy. So okay, so what exactly is 40-40-20 strategy? See, 40-20-40 इसको इस तरीके से समझते हैं. Let's see, 40% of your money should be in relatively safe stocks which are where you trust the brand, right? For example, let's pick the case study of, मैं example same देता रहता हूँ, HDFC Bank या Kotak Bank. ऐसा तो है नहीं that these companies are going to go to zero. So brand wise these are safe. Valuation wise, do you think that these are fine? Yes, everyone can have their different opinions कि और 5-7% नीचे चला जाएगा this that, but net this is fine, right? If you don't trust too much and आपको बहुत ज़्यादा दिमाग खराब हो रहा है, just simply go and invest your money in something like Nifty 50, right? So that's very simple, nothing fancy there, right? Second, 20% will be risk money. For example, so much stock has been happening that mid cap overvalued, small cap overvalued, this that. Now tell me guys that if out of 100 rupees, you have invested 20 rupees in slightly risk prone assets like small cap, mid cap, and उसमें correction आ भी गया, right? For example, imagine that it corrects by 50%. Will you start panicking? Short answer is no. It's just 20% of your portfolio. Why will you panic? The problem is that people do not follow these type of strategies. They have no basis. आज ये stock चढ़ता हुआ देख रहे हैं तो we'll go and buy this stock. कल वो stock चढ़ता हुआ देखेंगे, we will go and buy that stock. So there is no rationale or basis through which you end up going and buying these type of stuff. On top of that, people have no funds whatsoever in safe assets. Equity is not a safe asset. What is the meaning of safe asset? For example, bonds are safe. I earlier talked about Incred money. So just to explain you about Incred money, so you can go scout corporate bonds, invest in good quality corporate bonds, which are going to pay you after tax 7 to 9%. Incred Finance has come out with a public debt issue, and it is a CRISIL A+ rated bond. Now, since this is a bond, the risk profile is low, and you can start investing with as low as 10,000 rupee on it. So if you're looking to construct a safer portfolio, this option can definitely be considered. It involves a very simple 3-step process of investing your money, which you can easily apply. All the details regarding this particular bond issue is there in the description and comment box. There is also a referral program underway, so definitely go and check out the links in the description box and you can start your referral program as well. Now the 40% of your money needs to be in opportunities. For example, last year, bhai sahab, I was yelling at the top of my voice ki something like AMC companies are very good, something like Zomato is very good, something like Equitas is very good, something like IDFC First Bank is very good. So these were all good bets from that angle. Ab bolo ye to aap gade murde ukhad rahe ho, right? So for me, these were opportunities. Right now, I see a lot of opportunities in pharma. I see a lot of opportunities in real estate. I see a lot of opportunities in healthcare, right? So these are all good sectors to build your portfolio, so to say. Now, PSUs are not a great opportunity as per my understanding as of now, barring a few banks. Even now, something like HDFC and all these good banks are at a reasonable opportunistic buy levels. So you have to understand and work hard to curate this 40% of your portfolio. So by using this simple strategy, 40% safe money, जिसमें आपको ज़्यादा सिर नहीं खपाना कि अच्छा विच स्टॉक इज गुड, विच स्टॉक इज बैड, ऑल दैट स्टफ. गुड ब्रांड, डिसेंट वैल्यूएशन पे मिल रहा है, खरीदते चलो, नो प्रॉब्लम. सेकेंड, 20% रिस्क मनी, उसमें ऊपर नीचे होगा. यू हैव टू अज्यूम द फैक्ट दैट वेन एवर यू आर बाइंग स्मॉल कैप, मिड कैप, इट can go by 20-25% down, nothing, no problem there. Okay. Third and finally, opportunities. If you aggregate these 3 points, you will come up with a very solid understanding of how to curate, cultivate your portfolio, how not to get scared in this entire scenario. Most of my students are in a profit even now. They are smiling, कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ रहा, right? From that angle. Therefore, I keep on saying कि just go and try my member community once. You yourself will see the benefits. Everything is taught fundamentally. That is the point. वो ये नहीं है stock recommendation forum and all that. It is about understanding, cultivating the acumen to become an intelligent investor. So that is the viewpoint with which I teach there. So I hope that this point is clear. Now let me finally explain you 2 macro concepts and then I will tell you what is it that I am doing from an investment viewpoint. See, there was so much talk about yield curve inversion few days back, right? आपने सुना होगा yield curve inversion, yield curve inversion. What is the meaning of that? And I'm looking at the US data because US data is also equally applicable to Indian data, right? So you can check for Indian data also. Now here, very quickly explaining what yield curve inversion is. So it means that the difference between 10-year treasury yield minus 2-year treasury constant maturity. Simple भाषा में, see, this is long-term bond, okay, and this is short-term bond. Now, ideally क्या होता है that, for example, when you are putting your money in long-term bonds, 8-10 years bond, or if you do long-term fixed deposit, right? Now, what are you expecting? You are expecting a higher rate of interest. But if you're doing a FD for 6 months, 3 months, then you are expecting lower rate of interest, right? So this is what the usual circumstance is कि यहाँ पे आपको 10 मिल रहा होगा तो यहाँ पे maybe you'll get like 4 or 5, right? So usually this stays positive, right? So this is usually what the yield curve should be like. But unfortunately, you will see that from 2022, there was yield curve inversion, that people were not trusting the long-term bonds over short-term bonds. The short-term debt was more valuable compared to long-term debt. It was paying more, right? So therefore this inversion happened. Then it bottomed out. Now it is going back. So is this a good sign or a bad sign that yield curve is getting re-inverted, so to say? Of course, this is a good sign for the economy. So abhi ho kya raha hai, right? Sitting in October of 2023, what is it that big players are trying to do? They are trying to snatch away good stocks that you can buy right now at decent reasonable valuation. But वो आएंगे, दुनिया भर का पैनिक मचाएंगे, इजराइल हमस हो गया, फलाना टीम का हो गया, दिस हो गया, दैट हो गया. Of course they are going to buy things from you at a discount. Have you ever seen a big builder buying land at very crazy prices? The short answer is no. Bankrupt हो जाएंगे, that's a separate thing कि debt लेके bankrupt हो गए. But no builder ever will buy land very expensive. They will buy एकदम सस्ता टिकाऊ land that airport line आ रही है, metro निकल रही है, mall बन रहा है, and पता नहीं क्या क्या हो रहा है, right? So they will keep on spreading all this type of nonsense, and then people get into the ship कि हाँ यार mall आ रहा है, मजे करेंगे, AC में बैठेंगे, whatever, and then they will go and buy apartments there at very expensive prices. Same thing happens in the stock market, that when things actually improve. For example, right now, if you study the US market, the unemployment rate is very low. It has been very good, right? As of now, the employment data, mostly लोगों के पास employment है. So it's not as if कि consumer spending नहीं बढ़ेगी and all that stuff. Employment situation is fine. The yield curve is okay. Then on top of that, inflation problem, आप Google करके देख लो inflation क्या चल रहा है scene, right? So inflation problem is also fine. It's not as if कि वैसे inflation ने त्राही मचा दिया है. What you are seeing now, what is the macro news that has been created? भाई, Israel Hamas war. Now see, I am not a war expert. I don't know what is going to happen. But the way I see it is that if Russia-Ukraine war में, it's not as if that the world came to standstill. उसके बाद भी market बढ़ा. Then why is it that Israel-Palestine war is going to derail the entire market? It's not going to happen. But every day you will keep on hearing nonsense news that Putin is going to do this, फलाना टीम का प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज गोइंग टू डू दिस थिंग इज हैपनिंग देयर, दिस दैट, राइट? सो गाइज, आई एम स्पीकिंग प्योरली फ्रॉम अ मार्केट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. आई एम नॉट कॉमेंटिंग ऑन द ह्यूमन साइड ऑफ इट. अपॉलॉजीज इफ इट लुक्स insensitive. My idea is to make you more confident about the stock market, and that is the vision with which I am operating. So okay, so what is it that you should be doing in the stock market as of now, and what is it that I am personally doing? So I am doing just simply 3 things. Number 1, whatever money I have already put in the stock market, I am not withdrawing even one single penny You should buy in a buyer's market and you should sell in a seller's market. Right now, it is not a seller's market. So आपको बेचनी नहीं चाहिए चीज़ें. It's as simple logic as it could be. Okay. In fact, as the market has corrected, it has reached a very important, crucial support. I have added Nifty 50 today and I will continue to add more. I will talk all about this on my member community section also. I keep on giving very quick updates there. Again, in case you are interested, you could consider joining that. Second key point, if your portfolio is unbalanced, there is never a bad time to rebalance your portfolio. Now, what is the meaning of rebalancing? For example, I spoke about public sector enterprises. Beach though, it's not a problem, right? Cut some positions, rotate it somewhere. The problem happens is that if you're selling something at a loss and then not rotating that into something else, right? Because आप ऐसे मानो कि आपने public sector enterprise was at 100 rupees. Now it is at 80 rupees. Now you'll say कि यार, you know what, 100 rupees पे बेच देना चाहिए था. I could not sell it. Now it has come down to 80 rupees. बढ़ेगा then I'll sell it. No, see, if you are overweight, if you have a poor portfolio allocation, sell it and rotate it, right? You can rotate it to anything else that you feel worthwhile, because what is going to happen is that as the market is going to go up, worst case that could happen is that, see, your bet turned out to be bad, right? The PSE that you sold, it goes up. But the other thing in which you have rotated your money, let's say banks, right, they are also likely to go up. No, so it's not as if that you have made a loss by executing this simple thing. So I hope that these simple points are clear to everyone. And finally, I will be buying undervalued assets. There are a lot of undervalued assets that are there in the market right now. So just keep a track on that. If you trust the brand, if you trust the results, just aggregate it and view things with a long-term investment horizon. Again, going back, talking about the fact that 6 months mein kuch return nahi hai, 1 month hardly any return has come in the stock market, 5 year not much return has come. And the markets are not consolidating for 2.5 years just so they can get crushed by another 30%. So the net probability of markets moving up is much, much higher compared to markets moving down from this point. Of course, short-term correction can happen, 3, 4, 5%. No one can take guarantee of that. But overall, the fundamentals are fine and there is nothing wrong. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you learn how to create a portfolio, you can go and check my entire portfolio here on this video. I have revealed my P&L. It will give you more confidence. कि यार अक्षत का इतना पैसा लगा हुआ है, then probably we can also consider investing some of our money. So with that viewpoint in mind, watch this video and I will see you soon.